I mean, this dude is a guy that is a four-time champion, a four-time league MVP. He's the reason you knew about basketball in Greece, for crying out loud. It's because of Michael Jordan.
In the ongoing debate about the greatest basketball player of all time, one name often comes up in comparison to Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Stephen A. Smith, a prominent voice in the basketball community, is not shy about his stance. While he acknowledges LeBron's incredible legacy, he is also adamant that the title of greatest of all time belongs firmly in the hands of Michael Jordan. The notion of calling LeBron James the GOAT is one that Stephen A. takes issue with, explaining that being number 2 on the all-time list is no insult. LeBron is undoubtedly one of the best, but Michael Jordan's unparalleled dominance, mindset, and legacy have set him apart in ways that LeBron, despite his greatness, cannot replicate. Today, we dive deep into Stephen A. Smith's thoughts on why LeBron, despite his accolades, cannot surpass MJ, and why calling LeBron number 2 is actually a recognition of his incredible career. Stephen A. Smith describes LeBron James as a godfather or uncle to many of today's NBA players, emphasizing his role as a mentor and an example for the younger generation. This statement highlights the respect LeBron commands not only because of his success on the court, but also for the impact he's had off of it. He is a guiding force for the next generation, teaching players the ropes and showing them how to be successful both in basketball and in life. LeBron's influence on the game is monumental, and it's clear that he's played a significant part in shaping the careers of many young players, helping them grow in ways that go beyond just basketball. However, Stephen A. points out that being a guiding figure and a great player does not automatically equate to being the greatest of all time. LeBron's legacy as a mentor is undeniable, but this doesn't change the fact that Michael Jordan's legacy is uniquely unmatched.
LeBron James is like a godfather or an uncle. I'm sure you can relate, Unc. He's like a godfather or an uncle to most of the damn players.
Stephen A. Smith goes further by addressing the issue of LeBron's ranking as the second greatest player of all time, stating that it should not be seen as an insult. LeBron's achievements speak for themselves. He's a 4-time champion and a 4-time MVP. He has a career that is nothing short of remarkable, and the respect he commands in the NBA is well-earned. However, Stephen A. makes it clear that just because LeBron is ranked second doesn't diminish his greatness. This sentiment reflects Stephen A.'s belief that people often misinterpret LeBron's position in the debate. Being second to Michael Jordan, who is widely regarded as the GOAT, is not a slight. It's a recognition of the unparalleled greatness of Jordan. LeBron's career will be remembered as one of the greatest in history, but it's not enough to surpass the standard set by Jordan, whose dominance in the game was of a different magnitude.
I mean, this dude is a guy that is a 4-time champion, a 4-time league MVP. I mean, LeBron could hardly look at me and Rich Paul and Maverick and everybody losing their damn mind. I got him number 2 all time.
Stephen A. finds it strange that people like Shannon Sharpe are offended by LeBron being called the second greatest, with Sharpe himself being a vocal supporter of LeBron's GOAT status. Stephen A. critiques this mentality, arguing that it's absurd to take offense when someone is given their rightful place in history. LeBron is, without a doubt, one of the best to ever play the game, but Stephen A. stresses that his legacy does not automatically place him above Michael Jordan. The problem, according to Stephen A., is that the debate surrounding LeBron and Jordan is often influenced by bias and misplaced emotion. People who push for LeBron to be considered the GOAT are blinded by personal preferences and fail to recognize the facts. LeBron is undeniably one of the most influential and accomplished players of all time, but the comparison with Jordan should not be made without acknowledging Jordan's unmatched dominance and unparalleled impact on the game.
And that's an insult to people like Shannon Sharpe and Rich Paul and these guys. It's ridiculous.
When discussing Michael Jordan's dominance, Stephen A. emphasizes that Jordan's career never allowed for a final series to go to Game 7. This statement speaks to Jordan's consistency and ability to finish what he started, a characteristic that has set him apart from LeBron. While LeBron has had incredible playoff performances, his inability to maintain that same level of dominance when the stakes were highest, often allowing series to stretch out, diminishes his standing in comparison to Jordan's legacy. Jordan's mentality was different. He never allowed his opponents to get that close. This killer instinct, combined with his unmatched ability to perform in clutch moments, cemented his place in NBA history. Stephen A. points out that the conversation around greatness needs to acknowledge this factor. Michael Jordan wasn't just a great player. He was a player who defined greatness with his ability to control and finish every series he entered, leaving no room for doubt about who was the best.
Jordan never even allowed the series to get to a Game 7. He never allowed it to get that close. When you talk about the greatness of LeBron James, times where we've debated, well, is KD on that level? You know, Kobe back in the day, was he on that level? God rest his soul. Others as well.
Stephen A. Smith does not just make a statistical comparison when addressing Jordan's legacy. He dives into a deeper level of perception and legacy. One of the most striking elements he brought up was the singularity of Jordan's status during his playing days. There was no real debate. It was never the league versus Jordan. It was always Jordan versus the league. That distinction matters. It illustrates that Jordan was in a league of his own, unmatched and uncontested. Every other superstar was measured against him, not beside him. That speaks to a dominance and uniqueness that LeBron has never quite owned. In the modern era, we constantly hear debates about whether Durant, Kobe, or even Steph belonged in the same breath as LeBron. That is not a knock on LeBron, but rather a sign that his reign was never absolute. There was always a question mark. That is the difference. With Jordan, the period he dominated was marked by a clear hierarchy. No one dared suggest that Karl Malone or Clyde Drexler was on Jordan's level. That clarity of supremacy simply never belonged to LeBron. While his numbers are impressive, they never told the whole story. Jordan's greatness wasn't just respected, it was accepted universally. LeBron's greatness, on the other hand, has always been accompanied by arguments and counter-arguments. There is something to be said about having to constantly prove you're number one, while someone like Jordan never had to convince anyone. Jordan's era didn't debate GOAT status, it acknowledged it. That silence was powerful. LeBron's era, it is filled with noise, with fans and analysts trying to crown him, but the universal silence of agreement never came. That absence reveals more than statistics ever could.
Michael Jordan was playing, you know this. Was it not Michael Jordan and everybody else? Did everybody not know it was Michael Jordan?
When Stephen A. Smith moved the conversation into the realm of fear versus respect, he peeled back a layer of the GOAT conversation that most analysts overlook. He made a clear distinction between reverence and intimidation. Respect is what LeBron commands. He is admired for his basketball IQ, longevity, and ability to lead. But Jordan was feared. Fear in sports is not something that can be earned by numbers alone. It comes from a legacy of delivering every time, of punishing opponents with relentless precision, of striking terror into the hearts of even the most seasoned veterans. Jordan had that edge. Opponents were mentally defeated before the game even began. The five-time NBA Finals MVP did not just win championships, he owned those moments. Add to that his 9 All-Defensive Team honors and multiple scoring titles, and you begin to see the complete picture. He wasn't just dominant on offense, he was a predator on defense too. That's where LeBron falls short in the GOAT argument. He has been excellent, sure, but not terrifying. Players don't talk about nightmares of guarding LeBron the way they speak about Jordan. The psychological grip Jordan held on the league was real. You do not develop fear through stats. You build it through relentless execution. LeBron inspires effort. Jordan inspired surrender. That is not disrespect. That is a fundamental difference in legacy. Jordan's presence turned players into spectators. LeBron's presence demands strategy, but it does not paralyze. That difference may seem subtle, but in legacy terms, it is the loudest scream of all. Jordan didn't just play the game, he haunted it.
And everybody else, is there not a difference between respect and reverence as opposed to fear? Yes, it is. 9, 10-time scoring champion, 9-time All-NBA defensive team player, a 6-time champion, a 5-time NBA Finals MVP.
In perhaps the most passionate moment of Stephen A. Smith's commentary, he points out something even more culturally massive. Jordan did not just revolutionize the NBA in the United States, he brought basketball to the world. He was the reason kids in Greece, China, Africa, and every corner of the globe fell in love with the sport. His image on posters, his tongue-out drives to the basket, his slam dunks, these were not just highlights, they were global phenomena. And that global impact cannot be overstated. Jordan turned the NBA into an international product. Even before the internet and social media took off, Jordan's presence crossed borders and bridged cultures. He became a symbol of excellence, work ethic, and greatness. While LeBron has certainly influenced the modern game, particularly with player empowerment and off-court activism, he inherited a globalized NBA. He benefited from a league that Jordan built brick by brick. That is not a slight. That is context. The GOAT conversation is not just about who scored more or lasted longer. It is about who made the game what it is today. Without Jordan, there is no NBA empire. LeBron stands on Jordan's shoulders. He elevated the game further, but he did not invent the foundation. That foundational greatness makes it.
He's the reason you knew about basketball in Greece, for crying out loud. It's because of Michael Jordan.
The debate will rage on in barbershops, social media threads, and sports panels. But as Stephen A. Smith passionately laid out, calling LeBron James the second greatest of all time is not a dig. It is a compliment wrapped in reality. Jordan was simply different. His dominance was unquestioned. His impact was unmatched. His legacy, untouchable. LeBron has climbed mountains, but the summit he stands on still belongs to Jordan. Being number 2 behind the greatest to ever do it is not disrespect. It is an acknowledgement that there was, and always will be, one Michael Jordan. And no matter how many stats or seasons LeBron adds, he will not eclipse the man who defined basketball. So let the record show, this is not hate, this is clarity. And the game remembers greatness exactly the way Stephen A. said it. Jordan first, always, forever,